When we think about any goals that we're trying to achieve in life, whether they're career, health, relationships, personal happiness, peace, a sense of purpose, it's well documented in self-development that the greatest obstacles in our way from achieving these goals are internal. These are the self-limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, the self-criticism, but also the lower negative emotions of doubt, fear, criticism, anger, resentment, judgment, guilt. And in fact, fear is one of the biggest ones, the fear of failure and the fear of resentment. And this can be proved to us if we become very sensitive by writing down our daily goals every single day or speaking affirmations. A very subtle thing will occur if we're noticing when we're writing down a goal that we have not yet achieved. For instance, if you make $20,000 a year and you're trying to earn $35,000 a year, if you write down the goal, I earn $35,000 a year, there will be the voice of the inner critic that will bubble up. And this is highly, highly subtle, so it's going to be difficult to hear, but if you really pay attention and you really become aware, you'll notice it say, I can't do that, or I'm gonna fail, or I've never earned that much money before, or there's no way that my job can pay me that much, or I'm not really good enough to earn $35,000 a year, whatever the conditioning is within you. One of the greatest questions that we can perhaps ever ask ourselves in life is, am I willing to let go of this? And we ask ourselves this question anytime a lower negative emotion such as anger, resentment, guilt, fear pops up, but we also ask ourselves this question anytime we have a belief system that is existing within our mind that we think is negative. And if we ask ourselves this question, am I willing to let go of this? It changes the game completely. This has been the most just arresting question I've ever asked myself in my life that completely stops me dead in my tracks every time I ask it. The reason being that when we ask this question, we're automatically implying a few things. First, by asking this question, we're acknowledging the fact that it's extremely easy to justify a lower negative emotion. Anger is one of the most justifiable things ever. If someone does something bad to you, it's so easy to list all the reasons why you should be angry at them. In fact, it's so easy that people literally write books on why they're justified in being angry, fearful, or why they should have guilt, or why they're able to have these different resentments. People literally write books on this. So by looking at a lower negative emotion and saying, am I willing to let go of this? We're first implying that it's something that we're holding on to. So purely by asking that question, it's automatically implying that we are literally holding on to something that is not serving us. And secondly, by asking this question, we're implying that we have the ability to let go of this. And this is one of the craziest things. So we're acknowledging that it's not serving us, that it's within our power, that we're the ones holding on to it, but also that we have the ability to let go of it. So merely by asking this question, it completely recontextualizes everything we think we know. And there's one of two ways to answer this question. We can either say, yes, I am willing to let go of this, or we can say, no, I am not willing to let go of this, which, funny enough, saying no is actually a huge step forward as well, because we're saying, okay, it's within me, I've been holding on to this, I can let go of it, I'm simply just choosing not to let go of it. And that is just a major advance in consciousness right there. Also, what this whole process conveys as well is the fact that anything in life, it's not really the circumstances that are necessarily bad. So if you get in a car accident and your car is completely unusable and you can't get to work, that's a circumstance, but it's not inherently bad. It's our reaction to the circumstance that causes a lot of grief and suffering. It's our reaction to our thoughts and to these different belief systems that causes a lot of grief and suffering. And by acknowledging that we are the ones in control and that we have the power to release these, we make massive gains. So if we answer, yes, I am willing to let go of this, the next step in the process that you'll notice is that there is an uncomfortable body sensation that is associated with every lower negative emotion. Meditators know this, and this is one of the greatest benefits of meditation, is that it gets us comfortable with feeling body sensations without attraction or aversion. So to the untrained mind, we feel a sensation and we go, oh, I'm angry, or oh, I'm fearful. And once you start meditating, you go, okay, I'm feeling a sensation in my body that I maybe would describe as fear. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to feel this sensation and get to know it and become acquainted with it and see what it really feels like. I'm going to go shake hands with it. And when we do that, we'll notice that if you are willing to persist with a sensation and feel it equanimously, it will dissipate. And this is one of the most beautiful things that we can hold on to, is that when we're experiencing lower negative emotions, or when we have self-doubt or low self-esteem, if we are willing to let go of it, if we become aware when we're judging ourselves or criticizing ourselves, and we say, hey, am I willing to let go of this? Yes. And if we're willing to feel the uncomfortable sensation associated with that, over time, no matter how long it takes, if we're willing to feel it, it will eventually dissipate. Because we're gonna have certain small events that occur that you can be let go of within 30 seconds that are just very minor. But we're also gonna come across proclivities that have been within our ego for our entire lives and even multiple lifetimes, that are just so deeply buried within our consciousness, that have been wreaking havoc for our whole lives and long before that. It's gonna take, days or weeks or months, but we can hold fast to the law that if we are willing to let go and we're willing to feel those body sensations, we will eventually be free of it. And that's the greatest reward, is to acknowledge that, yes, we can justify the reason why we're angry or upset or fearful or resentful, but there is nothing that substitutes freedom. And there's a huge price to pay by feeling anger. Like literally every lower negative emotion, it's well documented in the medical field that it literally shuts down organ function. It produces more cortisol in the bloodstream. It creates a ton of stress-related illnesses. And if we can learn to let go of that and to say, you know what, I don't want to hold on to this anger. I have the ability to let go of it, and I would rather have freedom and peace than have this anger. Because you can't feel happy if we're angry. We can't feel happy if we're fearful or if we're guilty. But also it's very difficult to have career success and life success if you have negative self-beliefs. If you have self-limiting beliefs within yourself. In fact, I recently had a friend who said, hey, I'm putting on an event, I want you to speak at it. And my initial reaction in my mind when I was observing it was to say no, because I was scared. Because I had a belief system that why would anyone, if there's being music played, all these different things, why would everyone want to stop everything so that I could walk up there and speak? It felt like super narcissistic, and like I was like, who's gonna want to listen to that? But I caught myself and said, okay, that's a negative self-limiting belief. Am I willing to let go of that? And I answered yes, and I felt the sensations, and I realized, you know what, it maybe is selfish for me to feel that way. I think that's something that we rarely consider, is that sometimes it's extremely selfish to be thinking about ourselves all the time. If I let go of thinking about myself in that moment, I can maybe realize that maybe I do have something valuable to say, and that maybe it would actually change the life or the day of the listener, of the people in the audience. So maybe it's extremely selfish for me to go, why would anyone want to listen to that? So if I can let go of that belief system, then maybe I can speak at this event, and maybe I can speak at other events, and maybe that can advance my career and allow me to earn an income for myself and provide for myself. And so that's what occurs when we start letting go of things. We can realize that maybe we've been holding on to a belief system that there's no potential partners or romantic partners in our city. Like, I've heard people say that. It's a negative belief system. If we let go of that, we maybe open our eyes and we look around and wait and say, hey, that girl is beautiful, I'm gonna go talk to her. Or whatever it may be, like, oh, there are people around me that I could date or be interested in. So this has massive implications, and I encourage you guys, the next time you feel a lower negative sensation, or the next time you have a self-limiting belief, which will inevitably be today, because we're all humans, so don't think that anyone doesn't experience this. We all do, that's why we're here. So it's a great opportunity and a great practice to say, okay, I feel fearful. Am I willing to let go of this? So I hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I've been getting a few comments a week, plus maybe sometimes 5 comments a week, and it's been just incredible to hear from you guys, to receive messages about how this is helping you, because I originally started this just as like a personal project to get better at articulating and speaking and presenting very abstract ideas and kind of bringing them down into like a 5-minute video or a 10-minute video, being courageous to post it online. But as I get more messages, the more I'm realizing, like, okay, someone's gonna watch this. And so it's like super inspiring for me to practice the video and to put a little bit more effort into it so I can actually help people. Because I think that anytime we add meaning or purpose to our work, it just takes it to the next level. So I appreciate that, guys, and I appreciate any comments that you have to share for this video, and I will see you guys next week. Ciao.